Hello, welcome to the WeighPay group. In this video, we're going to take a look at the new WeighPay Enterprise Scale application. In this application, this can be installed on Windows tablets, or it can be installed on Windows PCs, desktop units. And so we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the functionality in this video. This will be a longer than normal video because there's quite a bit of software here to show, but we want to show that we can create tickets both for B2B. We can do retail walk-in, or we can do internal transactions. And we'll go over kind of all three of these in this video just to show you how powerful this scale application is. Now, should this be at an internal station, then you would not have the option to create retail or business, or vice versa. You can remove those buttons should you need to. Also, as a quick little highlight, we can look at existing dispatches. We call them work orders in our system. And so we'll go here. Let's kind of maybe drop back and see if we can't pick up some work orders for some previous dates. So you can see that we have these work orders, and if we double click, we can see that it's a dispatch type and that it was created on, that it's related to a contract, and you can kind of see all the different details that are already associated, such as the driver and the truck and the roll-off. I can reschedule this if I need to reschedule it. But we'll take a look at work orders here in a little bit. And also I have my full contract engine, so I can type in a contract number, or I can just hit find contracts, and it'll pull back my entire contracts that are open and available. And so red meaning these are sales, green meaning these are inbound purchases. So you've got purchase and contracts, what have you. So purchases and sales contracts, and you have all the filter types that you need to search through your contract database, including just that. Now we've created an additional screen that allows us as a truck driver, or a truck scale I should say, to simply say, ask who are you hauling for? And you can say, okay, I can see that you're hauling for a specific customer. And so you can say, I'm hauling for a AAA company. For instance, we could double click this or tap it with our finger if we're using a touchscreen device. And on that device, we would then pull back any available tickets. So you can see these are transactions that have been started and they're in my yard. I've either gotten the lightweight or the heavyweight depending on which direction the truck is coming. So the red would typically indicate that there's a load that is going to be leaving. So we would get the lightweight, load up the vehicle, get the heavyweight when it leaves. Vice versa, the green ones, typically inbound purchases, they come in heavy, we get the heavyweight, they drop their load, we then get the lightweight. And so these are existing trucks. You can see this is a new one, this one's been here for 8 days, this one's been here 26 days. So you can store these transactions in active mode if you need to. And then the center section would show us any work orders that we had available. I don't have any work orders for this company to be able to start a scale fulfillment from a work order. Now down here you can see we do have two contracts, and I could open up a contract right now and create a transaction against this contract to create a fulfillment. So very quickly we can identify who it is that's on our scale. We then can look to see if they're returning to our scale because they've already been there today and we've either gotten their light or heavyweight, or if it's a dispatch load that's arriving, or whether it's an unannounced load that's coming in, but it is already has a contract that they're part of a fulfillment. So that's just kind of at a high level, making it fairly easy for scale operators to identify who they're working with. Of course, you can go to this account page. You can scroll by phone, business, all kinds of different filters to be able to identify the account that you're dealing with, including scanning their ID, scanning a barcode, what have you. So there's quite a bit of functionality for us to speed up that search process. So in here we have active tickets for business transactions, for retail transactions. If I hit this more button, this will show us that under businesses we have business tickets, we have the inbound outbound, we have transfers between locations, and then we have a special ticket type called inbound point of sale. And what that means for waste companies is that I have an inbound product that's going to increase my inventory, but I need to create an AR bill for it, where these standard tickets would be more in line with a purchase transaction for suppliers. This would be more for your customer base. So under retail, we have similar, and this is where we're dealing with an individual, not a business. But you can see here how we have individual retail tickets, and then we have a inbound transaction where they're delivering green waste or delivering some product to us, and we need to bill them on an invoice for that. Under internal tickets, you can see that we got pile-to-pile regrades, create inventory packages or tagged items, and or production blends. And then of course you have our work orders, which we've already shown you, that are under logistics. So that's just some of the functionality that's in here. This of course would be scaled and configured to your business to be specific what you need. So it doesn't need to be that much software if you don't need it. So that's just kind of a little bit about our ticketing system and our scale system. And then of course, like I said, you can search through your customer database, look for contracts, look for dispatch orders, etc. We can also build finished goods. We're going to go through that in a second. But under billing, we can simply click on billing and we can go look at all available bills. We can go to a specific customer and look for their bills. We can go to a specific customer and look for all payments that have been made, specific customer payments, and or look at any checks that have been paid out or written on behalf of a supplier. So the system, if I were to click on that button, would then pull back my bills from the cloud server. Now you're going to see that I've got AP bills and I've got AR bills. And so you can see here that if I were to click on one, it is then going to allow me to do a netting. So I could take, let's say I unselect a few of these and I just keep these three. So you can see here that the customer owes me $12,151. And if I maybe take that one out, we're down to 11,000. So there's a bunch more tickets here. But let's just, I could have deselected all these with a single button, of course. But let's go ahead and just assume that at this point they owe me $48 because I've got this one is netted against this one and that's netted against that last AP. So I could accept payment. I could put in a note if I need to, and then it's going to draw these together or consolidate them. And as it consolidates these two APs with one AR, I can then go ahead and accept the $48.75 from my customer. So they could pay me by cash, they could pay me by check, they could pay me by wire, they could pay me by credit card. So we have all the payment options for them to be able to pay us. So in this scenario, we'll just go ahead and choose that they're going to pay by credit card, and then the system will go ahead and run the credit card machine, charge the customer, and then it'll return back and tell us that that payment was valid, paid by credit card on this date. So you can see here that we've finished this transaction. We've created a netting, and so we have the netting was 1406 for these three ticket numbers. So pretty a simple system, and then we can go back to any one of the number of screens that we want to return to. We'll just go back to the home screen. So that's the billing page. So we've talked so far, just as a quick recap, we've talked about transactions. We've talked about getting into multiple, whether you're seeing a single company, you want to see their work orders, their contracts, or any open tickets that you might have. Under work orders, we can specifically see dispatched work orders. Under contracts, we can see any open available purchase or sales contracts and do scale fulfillments against those. And now we're going to take a look at some inventory packaging. So over here, this would be probably a tablet that's set over at your baler or set up at your warehouse, where we're going to create inventory packages, and we want to put labels on those packages. So I can simply click on that. I can then find a product such as wheels, and here for wheels we're going to create a box and a pallet because we're going to put them in a box. And then you'll notice that I've got scale connectivity and camera connectivity in order to do this. Now I've got this set up right now. Let me change my scale system. So let me back out of that real quick and then go back in, choose wheels, and then we can choose here to choose box and pallet. You can see we've got 3,000 pounds. It's going to automatically take a photo. I didn't have to do anything. It just, as soon as I hit accept, it took the photo. Is there a tear weight? If there is a tear weight, we can manually enter tear weight, or we can accept the system tear weight if there's a system tear weight. So the system tear weight would be set to the pre-known weight of the container, the box and the pallet per se. So I could either edit and override this, and so I can go in here and say, okay, so that was 12.5 pounds or whatever the weight is. Now I can print that label if I want to print the label. I'm just going to print it and save it for this video. But that's how quick and simple it is to create a pallet bin or box. And then we can go back into our inventory system and see those images and see that tag, when the tag was created, who created it, etc. Now we do have the ability to go to on stock inventory. And this is the inventory that we maybe want to prepare for shipment. So there's that box. We can, of course, go into, if we need to edit, reprint it, or void it, we can do that in case we want to make it, reweigh it. Or I can just add it to a shipping list if I want to add it to a shipping list. So now we can go through and build a shipping list for my wheels. And you can see I've got a couple wheels there, and so I've added those to my shipping list. At this point, that shipping list is created. That truck can make its way over to the scale. I could, in a number of different ways, either ship against a contract or just go ahead and open up a ticket. So I'm just going to open up a ticket, and we're going to do an inbound outbound because our tickets are multi-directional. And then I am going to choose who it is that I'm selling to, AAA company. That's what I'm selling. And then I'm going to click on more options here, which gives me the ability to add the shipping list. And so those are the wheels that we chose. And so you can see whether you're shipping inventory loose, whether you're shipping inventory by the bins, our system allows you to pull this data in, and so that you can see all these different items. That list is now cleared. It's now been transferred to a scale ticket, in which case you can see the items here, and you can look at the details. Tag 1003 is built right into that, so making it very simple for you to see which tag belongs to which product. And in which case we could either A, finish this, or we could choose a hauler. So if we have a hauler on here, we can go in here and say, okay, AAA hauler is my company that is doing the hauling for me. And so now we've got the hauler, the items, and so let's go ahead and close that out. So we got haulers. We can also choose the truck type, which we also call container type. And so if we wanted to choose a container type, we could simply go and say this is an outbound load, and this is on a roll-off, let's say. And so we're going to go ahead and choose the truck type. So we've got our items, and then at this point, since we're not looking for that tear on that item, we can then create an AR. It'll print the bill of lading, a packing list, and ship the truck on the way. But before it does that, it's going to look to see if there's any associated freight rates that are involved. So you can see here that we have two different freight rates to choose from, and I'm going to choose this flat rate. So the trucking company that we have, the hauler, needs the $250. That's what we're going to create a bill for that hauling company automatically. And if there was any tarping fees or any surcharges, we could choose that, and then we could go back and finish this transaction. So the system itself went ahead and did a verification check and found that one of these tags was already not compliant. So we're going to go back and reset our transaction, and we are going to hit the reset button here. So for example, you have the ability to again create inbound, outbound, inbound transactions, show the available inventory for shipping purposes, and so you can go to brass and see that I've got inventory in my brass. If I don't have any inventory, then I can't ship. If I have this set to not allow negative inventory, which is an option that you can choose. So quite a bit of feature function across the ticket. One of the things to keep in mind with our system is that it is fully capable of both inbound and outbound multi-account transactions. So for instance, I can say that I want my trucking company to go to company A, and let's just say they're going to pick up some aluminum extrusion clean, and let's say we're going to just weigh this up just to keep it simple. But I could come back and say if there was another company that I was picking up from, I could choose that company. Then I could go choose tires, and then you can see here that this line item belongs to this company. This line item belongs to the first company, in which case if we're just going to do this and add that in, and let's go ahead and, I've got this price protected for now, but let's go ahead and add this in. So now you can see that we can bill, we're going to have two supplier bills, one to AAA Tire, one to AAA Company. Then if I had my hauling company on here, which is AAA Hauling, I could create an AP bill for the hauler, and I could create 2 AP bills for each one of these companies with a single transaction. So ticket number 6753 can create 2 bills for my suppliers, 1 bill for my hauler, and we can also get into processors as well if this was running through a processor. So just a little bit about our WeighPay scale application, taking photos, etc. So let's go ahead and close out of that one. Let's go back to this one real quick and show you. We have quite a few modifier buttons here. So you can obviously add to, take away from, or just do a standard net deduction if you need to do a net deduction. And or you can add what we call our ticket item fields, which means I can choose whether the material, these are all custom modified fields, user in modified. So you have up to 30 fields to choose from for additional data. You can also go in here and say, okay, I need to, for non-metallic purposes, I need to do a percentage of 5%, and we are going to do a deduction for that. So you can see that the system is set up to collect quite a bit of additional information should it need to be, especially if there's also additional deductions. You can do a line item split, take photos of that line item split should it be contaminants or waste. I can convert that line item into a finished good. If I bought it as a finished good and I'm going to sell it, I can go ahead and create a tag right on the scale. So quite a few feature functions in this program, too much to go through in a simple video, but I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of the kind of functionality that we have in the WeighPay Enterprise Scale application. So again, we can go back to our home page where you can see that we've got reports also built in, and then you can look at the products that are in your system. Keep in mind that our system is already ready to be used in offline mode because it stores the products, it stores your entire customer base, it stores your all of your price sheets, all your contracts, all your work orders. Everything is saved in the local device so that if you lose internet connectivity, network connectivity, or there's some kind of a disconnect from our servers, you have offline mode, and so you can run 24/7 uninterrupted regardless of your conditions, because we take that data and we store it online, and then we synchronize back when we return back to online mode. It would synchronize any of those offline tickets. So one of the most advanced scale systems in the recycling industry, because it allows you to have a cloud hosted solution, but it also acts as a locally hosted solution. So it's really what we call a hybrid cloud. So pretty powerful tools in the WeighPay Enterprise application. I hope you've enjoyed this high-level overview of WeighPay Enterprise. Remember, WeighPay, so advanced it's simple.